It was around 2019 that I saw my doctor. I like to refer to him as amiable quack. Good to chat with, but let's say average when it came to treatment. There was a drug for every condition. If a small dose didn't fix it, take a bigger dose. Don't worry about side effects. Long-term risks? Nah, I wouldn't worry about that. I mentioned to him about the ravages I was going through since the year before when I quit a medication I had been on for the past 50 years. The headaches, nausea, giddiness, depression, horrible depression, just feeling horrible in general, sometimes beyond description. Well, I was not surprised at his bemused look of incredulity. I had already realised that the medical profession would be of no help to me. But I told him the best way I have coped with it so far has been friends. I got another bemused look, more incredulity. Friends? I heard him think. What drug is that? Well, friends, one of the best drugs there is. And this brings me to my video, how I survived my ordeal for the past 5.5 years. Do I have the secret to it all? Nah. I just hope that my video, my ideas, might help someone also survive. Thank you for listening. When you're hit by this array of horrible effects, or simply coping with intense depression, stuff you can't understand, you might be overwhelmed by a feeling of hopelessness and frustration, especially when you are suffering as disbelieved by doctors, family and friends. Sadly, it happens. I'm by no means perfect. Occasionally, my frustration has made me lose my temper briefly at some comment, but I'd like to suggest to you about what not to do when trying to cope. Not to do things which will make matters a lot worse for you, your family and friends. It'll alienate you. You might look for another drug, medication, a hard drug, booze, get drunk, anything at all to make the torment you're going through disappear. Well, it might make you think you're better for a short time, but before long, you'll be far, far worse. What's more, whatever you take, you get addicted to it and it'll cause grief for you and those around you. Keep your whinging to a minimum. I call it whinging. I mean, to you, it's not really whinging, but others consider it as such. Occasionally it's unavoidable. But the thing is, a constant woe is me attitude can make friends shy away from you. The sad fact is, as I found, that even when I tried to give a technical explanation, not at all complaining, just explain what the neurological thing is that happened to me, and maybe just explain why I'm not life of the party and bright and bushy-tailed and happy, well, you'll be ignored. Sort of like, yeah, now where were we? Let's go on with things. See, they just don't want to know. Or maybe they get overwhelmed, so they pretend they don't want to know. Whatever it is, it's not going to work. So you have to look at it from their point of view. So rather than take on some attitude, if nobody believes me, I don't want to know them. No, just live with it. Accept it. See, yelling, don't you believe me? It's not going to fix anything. As I said, it'll alienate you from all, and it'll get you worked up as well. This is some general stuff when you're going through mental anguish such as depression, or as in my case, heaps of inexplicable unpleasant effects which I covered, including depression, intense depression. Well, you might want some magic pill, some medication, this or that, you got to hunt around, ask your psychiatrists, doctors, and they're going to prescribe this and that. Well, the medication, even if it works, it might stop working. You might need to increase the dose. But worse, in long term, it might result in unpleasant effect and it might be difficult to stop using it. So my suggestion is, rather than try to find a complete cure through medications, just try to take the edge off through natural means. And of course, when you hear the word natural, oh yeah, mumbo jumbo, whatever, but I'm not going to do anything fancy, just your activities. Maybe reduce your suffering to some lower level as long as you survive. That's what I'm doing. I mentioned friends. Of course, you may not be life of the party into big parties or whatever. I'm certainly not. So I'm not suggesting large groups of friends or parties or whatever. Just meeting a friend for coffee or whatever. If you're not into coffee, into anything. Chat about anything and everything. Whatever you have in common. Chat and of course listen to that friend. Nature has helped me too. Going for a walk in a park, in some forest, along the seashore, along a river, admire flowers and trees. I love taking photos of flowers. I love saying hello to dogs I meet. I love them to death. I love our dog. I love exchanging hellos and smiles with passers-by, even when I'm not that good. I often find that when I'm feeling crappy and I say hello to somebody who's walking by, I feel better. And you know, the thing is, that person might feel crappy themselves. And me saying hello makes them feel happier. So it makes both of us feel happier. I have a separate comment about the need to keep busy, active. As I said, I'm 76, I've got arthritis, I've got a bad ankle. So if you think, oh, I'm not into keeping busy, I can't do this, I can't do that, well, wave your bloody arms or whatever. But look, we read, if you're on Facebook and you read these posters, oh, you've earned yourself a rest, don't get up if you don't want to, it's okay to do nothing. Yeah. Well, if you've been flat out, hard at work, you're dog-tired, yeah, okay. But otherwise, I disagree, completely disagree. In my case, I often, at night, when I have the odd time where I have a good sleep, I just don't want to get up, because I know when I'm going to get up, I'm getting hit by a whole lot of rubbish and whatever that I don't want to. And sometimes when all the stuff starts hitting me in the morning, I just want to go back to bed. But I know I can't. That is the wrong thing to do, because your body gets used to doing things and your body gets used to not doing things. So if you get into that habit, it'll start becoming routine. You lie in, you do nothing, and so I'm not going to go that way. I get up early. I feed my friends the magpies and butcher birds, admire them, admire any other bird that happens to be in the backyard or front yard, wattle birds or whatever. I accompany my wife Lynn with our greyhound Missy. That's it, that's the morning. Now I'm retired, so I've got no paid work I have to show up at, and the retirement sort of happened. I wasn't planning to, I don't even like the word. Well, what I do, I like going to a nearby shopping centre, usually by train. 3 stations. I walk through the park, the lovely park. I might meet dogs that say hello, look at the flowers. The whole trip is part of my diversion. And then I walk through from the station into the shopping centre. There's a cafe, very friendly staff. I say hello to them, have a chat. I say hello to some staff manning the different shops, even meet friends. Basically, hellos all round. But when I get home, I get stuck into all sorts of work. I've been doing arc welding, woodworking, digging, maintenance, anything, handwork, heavy work. When we're on our block of land, I cut down dead trees and do block splitting. Good, heavy work, which does not impact my ankle. Every day I ride my bicycle 6 kilometres to the beach and 6 kilometres back, going for a brief swim in between. Am I some fitness nut? No. It often takes me a little while to psych myself up before setting out on my ride. When I get back, once again, I get stuck into anything and everything. And this is my point. Keep busy. Always have something to do, as much as your body allows. Why? It's the diversion. Because the thing is, once you start doing nothing, your mind goes berserk. You start overthinking, you get anxiety, depression, so you need a diversion from your thoughts. And of course, the moment I stop, it all hits me again. So I have to keep on working. So the key is keep busy. If I can do it, well, most people can. And as I said, even if you're disabled in some way, find something to do. Even if it's just waving your hands, keep your brain occupied. I'm into crosswords, but do anything. So keep busy. What I forgot to mention is music. That has been a major coping skill. Now, I've loved music since I was a kid, mainly classical, light classical, musical, really all sorts, folk music of my country. Without hesitation, I suggest to anyone going through all sorts of stuff to try that too as part of the coping skill. So you have your nature, you have your being active, but try also music. Now, it has been said, I don't know who said it, I think it was said in a derogatory way, music is the opiate of the masses. But you see, you can use that type of reasoning to help you survive. So I'm not going to discuss different types of music. It's up to you. You might like one type one time, another type another time, sometimes quiet, sometimes loud, but try it. Now, in conclusion, well, you might say, oh yeah, this has helped me, everything sounds good. Yeah, right. That's not going to happen. Well, I reckon if a little bit makes you think, helps you in some way, gives you ideas, then it's worth it. Then again, how am I doing? Is this going to help me survive? Well, when all the crap hits me, it's hard to believe it, but I try. So this is the stuff I have learned. Maybe people disagree, maybe you think it's all rubbish, but take it or leave it. I really hope it helps someone in some way. Thank you.